Yo, I just got some information myself, man, because it was strange to me that every month he's going up for a bail hearing. And I know that seems strange to a lot of people.
Live, a judge has denied bail for Sean Diddy Combs. Of course, this was the hip-hop mogul's latest bid for freedom as he remains in federal jail for his racketeering and trafficking case.
Oh my God. Y'all, the unthinkable has happened. Sean Diddy Combs, one of hip-hop's biggest icons, just got denied bail for the third time. Can you believe it? This music mogul, who's basically been living like hip-hop royalty, just got shut down by Judge Subban in a way that has everyone's jaws on the floor. And let me tell you, the judge's detailed ruling paints such a dark picture for the former Bad Boy Records founder that it's got the whole industry shook. His reputation hanging by a thread. Those allegations mounting by the day.
So yesterday, Monday, Diddy celebrated his 55th birthday, but this year was a lot different. It was no Diddy parties. It was none of that. None of that stuff. Well, happily so, I guess, right now. But anyway, so this is his first birthday behind bars.
Let's spill all the tea because, honey, this is shaping up to be one of the most dramatic legal battles we've ever seen. We're not just talking about Diddy's freedom here, his entire empire is at stake. And get this, his latest attempt at bail wasn't just any old request. This man tried to throw down a $50 million bail package. You heard that right? $50 million? His team really thought they had it in the bag with this offer, throwing in everything but the kitchen sink. 24/7 private security, no internet, no phone access. But child, the court wasn't having any of it, and Judge Subban didn't hold back one bit.
No, I'm not surprised by the ruling because, as she cited in her order, there are very serious allegations about the danger that he potentially poses to other witnesses and the public at large. There are allegations that he has, been violent with others. He's also attempted to allegedly intimidate other witnesses and still contact witnesses while incarcerated.
Now, let me break down why the judge wasn't buying what Diddy was selling. They looked at four major things: the nature of those charges, and trust me, they're bad; the mountain of evidence they've got against him; his personal history, which isn't looking too pretty; and whether letting him out would put people in danger. And sweetie, it wasn't looking good for Diddy on any front. The charges? They're absolutely jaw-dropping. We're talking racketeering, coercion, and get this, orchestrating a systematic pattern of harm that went on for years. The prosecutors are saying Diddy used all that money, power, and those fancy connections to create this little world where he could do whatever he wanted without consequences. But hold on to your seats because that's just the tip of the iceberg.
Monitoring another push to free Sean Diddy Combs tonight, with his legal team citing new evidence in an updated bail proposal. The music mogul agreeing to around-the-clock security and cutting out contact with basically anyone but his legal team to get out of jail ahead of his trial scheduled for May of next year for charges he allegedly coerced and abused women for years.
Let me tell you about one of the most shocking pieces of evidence that had everyone in the courtroom gasping. There's this video from 2016, and y'all, it is disturbing. Picture this: Diddy wearing nothing but a towel in some fancy Los Angeles hotel hallway, and what the prosecutors say he did next will make your skin crawl. They say he was seen dragging Cassandra Ventura, you know her as Cassie, to the ground, kicking her and forcibly pulling her back to their hotel room. And the prosecutors are saying this isn't just some one-off incident, it's part of a whole pattern of controlling behavior.
Is everybody familiar with the old Houdini? So what Diddy's lawyers are trying to do is pull a Houdini. They're trying to say that the evidence that they have is different. Well, it's not different. The video that the entire world has seen is not going to go away. The fact that he had parties that were freak-offs is not going away. So it's just a question of whether or not...
But wait, it gets even worse. The text messages that came after this incident? Chilling doesn't even begin to cover it. Cassie sent messages describing what happened, and I'm quoting here because you need to hear this. I have a black eye and a swollen lip. You're sick for thinking this is okay. Another message talks about crazy bruising that wouldn't go away. Between the video and these texts, it's painting a picture that's getting harder and harder to ignore, even for Diddy's biggest supporters. But here's where things get even messier. While he's been cooling his heels in the Metropolitan Detention Center, Diddy apparently couldn't help but break the rules. They're saying he used other inmates' phone codes to make calls he wasn't supposed to make. And get this, he was supposedly using some secret messaging service to talk to people outside, but the really wild part? Prosecutors think he was using these sneaky communications to influence witnesses and maybe even potential jurors.
That's it. You know, if it is privilege, of course they won't. But if it really is what the prosecution says, that has nothing to do with the case, or even worse, it's actually evidence of witness tampering, because we all know the attorney-client privilege, there's a crime fraud exception. You can't use your lawyer to perpetuate a future or continuing fraud or crime. So if the documents are what the government says they are, they're going to get them again. And again, it's just going to be a matter of days, because I don't expect.
And speaking of wild, let me tell you about this absolutely bizarre social media stunt that went down around Diddy's birthday. The prosecutors say this wasn't just some sweet family moment. It was all part of a calculated plan. They had his kids make this video celebrating his birthday while he listened in from jail. Sounds innocent enough, right? Wrong. Because get this, during a phone call, Diddy supposedly said something that has everyone raising their eyebrows. He said, "I just need one," and prosecutors think he was talking about influencing just one juror. The audacity.
So that, yeah, they probably didn't see these notes, and they never will.
But if you're Diddy, don't you want your notes back?
Yeah.
If you've spent so many hours gathering evidence for your side or, strategy or whatever, for me, I'd be like, oh no, please don't destroy, please return.
But that's not even the half of it. Let's talk about how Diddy allegedly couldn't keep his hands off the phone when it came to one particular witness. This person, who was apparently involved in several of the incidents under investigation, was getting calls and messages from Diddy even after testifying to the grand jury. Hello, and when some of these messages mysteriously disappeared, well, that just made everything look 10 times more suspicious. Judge Subramanian was not having any of it, saying there's a serious risk of witness tampering. Of course, Diddy's legal dream team, Mark Agnifilo and Alexander Shapiro, fought back hard, claiming everything's being blown way out of proportion. They even tried to sweet-talk the court with this proposal where Diddy would basically be under house arrest in some fancy 3-bedroom apartment on Manhattan's Upper East Side with security guards watching his every move. No phone, no internet, just Diddy and his thoughts, and his lawyers and family, of course.
If they did in fact occur, their argument is more than likely going to be that this activity was consensual, that this person was a willing participant, and not only that, but that these individuals assume the risk of being present at those parties, of engaging and voluntarily engaging in the sexual conduct and being in those spaces, consuming and things of that nature.
But honey, let me tell you why this whole private security arrangement had everyone rolling their eyes. The prosecutors were like, hold up, you're basically trying to create your own private jail. They said this would make a 2-tier justice system where rich people could just buy their way out of detention. And the judge? She was not impressed. She pointed out that these security guards would be getting their paychecks from Diddy, not the court. Who do you think they're really going to be loyal to?
Sounds like there was probably a lot of hidden cameras as well. Is that what is being talked about?
Yes, this was actually in his Atlanta home, at a home he had in Atlanta at one point. And it does seem that the person isn't looking into the video, so to me, doesn't seem like that person knows they're being videotaped. It doesn't seem like they're active participant in the videotaping.
Now let's spill the tea about these notorious jail cell notes that had everyone gagging. During a routine contraband sweep, they found these notes in Diddy's cell, and child, the contents were everything. We're talking about alleged instructions to dig up dirt on 2 people connected to the case. His lawyers tried to play it off like, oh, these are protected by attorney-client privilege. But the judge noticed something fishy. The story about whether these notes were properly marked as privileged kept changing. Oops.
Witnesses.
So I think the most important thing, even more important than the passport, is that Mr. Combs came to New York on September 5th. As soon as we realized that this indictment was going to be coming down in a matter of weeks, maybe months, but sometime soon, Mr. Combs got on a plane, left his home in Florida, flew to New York. I called the prosecutors myself. I said, Mr. Combs is in New York. Do you want to know where he is?
And when Diddy's team tried to compare his case to Mike Jeff's, that former exec in his 80s who got bail, the prosecutors shut that down real quick. They were like, excuse me? Mike Jeff isn't accused of running a violent criminal enterprise or trying to obstruct justice. Plus, they pointed out that being in his 80s makes Jeff way less of a flight risk. The judge was like, nice try, but no.
So my defense is very well established. I interviewed myself, the different men who were being brought sort of into Mr. Combs and this person's intimate situation. I've flown around the country. I've interviewed a large number of them. there's not the slightest inkling, according to the interviews that I've done, of anything that's coercive, non-consensual.
So now poor Diddy, if we can even call him that anymore, has to prepare for trial from behind bars. His legal team is talking about appealing, but let's be real, the chances aren't looking good, and the hits just keep on coming with new lawsuits and allegations popping up almost every week. The king of the music industry is now stuck in a cramped cell, drowning in legal troubles, watching his legacy crumble.
Sean Diddy Combs was denied bail for the third time, a federal judge saying that the government had proven by clear and convincing evidence that there were no conditions of release that would ensure the safety of the community.
But wait, there's more drama with these jail notes. During that search at the Metropolitan Detention Center, they found what looked like innocent scribblings at first. But trust me, these weren't your average grocery lists or reminder notes. The prosecutors say these pages contained instructions that had the whole courtroom shook. They claim Diddy was writing about digging up dirt on his accusers, like who does that?
The defense denying these claims and is pushing for his release under strict conditions, including a $50 million bond and 24/7 monitoring at a secured Manhattan apartment. There will be a hearing today where both sides will have a chance to clarify exactly how Combs has been connecting with the world outside his jail cell.
Now you'd think finding these notes would be game over for Diddy, right? Written evidence of tampering and intimidation in his own handwriting. But his legal team came out swinging, claiming these notes were protected by attorney-client privilege and should have never been seized. They're calling it a total violation of Diddy's constitutional rights, and they are big mad about it.
So there's a few things going on. First is the privilege issue. The judge will decide whether the documents are privileged or not. If they're not, they're going to go to the government. If the documents are not only not privileged, but they're evidence of witness tampering, then a few things can happen, all of which are bad for Sean Diddy Combs. First, of course, he could face obstruction of justice charges in a superseding indictment.
The judge, trying to keep everyone happy, or maybe just equally unhappy, ordered the prosecutors to destroy their copies of the notes. But, and this is a major but, she's keeping the originals under court supervision while everyone argues about whether they can be used as evidence. Talk about drama.
Wait a minute, say that again. Say that again, back up. You're saying that there's tapes and they're being shopped?
Yes, there have been people already shopping.
We've heard about the tapes, but
yes.
the shopping thing is...
Yes, there already have been tapes leaking around Hollywood, being shopped around to individuals in Hollywood. But one particular person contacted me to shop a particular video they were in possession of.
And let's circle back to that birthday video drama because it gets even juicier. Prosecutors are saying this wasn't just some sweet family moment. They claim Diddy was tracking the video's engagement metrics like some social media influencer. He was allegedly discussing strategies to maximize its impact, which is just, I can't even.
Not buying it on, Kana, and safety can mean a couple different things. Safety just doesn't mean free from harm of violence. Safety can also too mean emotional and mental dynamics that could occur by Sean Combs reaching out to potential witness to get them to possibly change it.
But the plot thickens even more. Now we're hearing about how Diddy supposedly used his wealth to keep people quiet. The prosecutors are pointing to suspicious payments made to people connected to the case. His team's trying to say it's all legitimate business, but honey, in the court of public opinion, that ship has sailed.
When people got a lot of money and they got lawyers that can come up with different reasons and different information and present it to the courts, that they are able to get how many bail hearings, as long as you got different information to present to the court, different evidence.
And those infamous gatherings? Chilly. Let me tell you about these parties that everybody used to die to get invited to. We're talking the biggest names in entertainment, politics, and business all mixing and mingling. But now, those glamorous affairs are looking more like crime scenes. Some guests might have seen some seriously troubling stuff, but kept their mouths shut out of fear or loyalty. And get this, Tony Busby, this lawyer representing over 100 alleged victims, is coming for everyone who might have enabled or covered up Diddy's alleged actions. His message? If you saw something and stayed quiet, you're just as guilty.
Diddy is a multi-millionaire. He's a multi-millionaire. If he wins this case against them, look at all the business that he lost. Look what they made him look like in the public eye. He could bankrupt. he could bankrupt the government.
Now, all these celebrities who used to love posing with Diddy, Jay-Z, Jennifer Lopez, Usher, are scrambling to distance themselves. They're quietly scrubbing their social media, deleting photos faster than you can say damage control. But even as some are running for the hills, others are finally speaking up.
They know they already won their case. He's gonna have to plead guilty to something. Maybe the guns, it may be the trafficking, it may be some stuff they found in the tax evasion. It may be charges that we don't even know about. But he's gonna have to plead guilty to something which get them off the hook.
So where do we stand now? Diddy's sitting in jail, his glamorous lifestyle replaced by a prison cell, while his lawyers are gearing up for what's gonna be the fight of their lives. The prosecutors are still building their case, and honey, this story is far from over. The stakes couldn't be higher, and the ripple effects, they're going to touch lives and careers in ways we can't even imagine yet. And here's the real tea. With the trial still months away, who knows what other bombshells are going to drop? Will more people come forward? Will his former friends turn on him? And what about those mysterious notes? Will they be the final nail in the coffin? One thing's for sure, the Diddy we thought we knew, that image is shattered forever. The only question now is how much deeper this rabbit hole goes. Drop your thoughts below. Do you think Diddy's being unfairly targeted, or is there more to these allegations than meets the eye? And how far do you think all that money and influence will get him in this legal battle? Share your theories in the comments and stay tuned because this story is just getting started.